Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. And today I wanted to do more of a review of a movie because I watched it already, but I still wanted to talk about it. So, Night at the Museum. Why did I watch it? I watched it because it was in Disney Plus and it kept popping up, and you know when something just keeps popping up and popping up, that you're just like, maybe it's a sign for me to watch it. I don't know if it's just me, but that happens a lot when I go into YouTube. A video keeps popping up and I'm like, I don't want to watch it, but it keeps coming up every day or like every other hour. So then you're just like, okay, let me just watch it. So I did. Okay, so the premise of the story, or the movie, I guess, is about a guy who can't keep a job, but he gets a job at the Museum of Natural History as a night guard, which then he ends up realizing that all the wax figures come to life at night. They come alive.
All right, that's enough.
We gotta breach!
Which then made me realize, oh, there's something else I know that it's like this, you know?
What's cutting in you, Sheriff?
You are the one that decided to climb into this.
The claw. It moved. I have been chosen. Farewell, my friends. I go on to a better place. Gotcha.
And I was like, did they get this idea from Toy Story? It's basically the same thing. The inanimate object comes alive. These two movies have the same idea. Inanimate objects come to life. So then I came to realize that it's the same type of formula, you can say, you know? So I went and did some digging and I was like, oh. So then I saw that the movie was based off a book called Night at the Museum, which was released in 1993, which then made me realize that Toy Story came out in 1995. So I'm like, oh, maybe Toy Story copied them because of the book, because the objects came to life, you know? But then if you know this, you know that Toy Story came from the idea of Tin Toy, which was released in 1988. So basically answering this question I had in my head about who was copying who, or who got this idea first, it's not the same. No one's copying anyone, I think. It's two separate things, but I guess these people had the same ideas, which you can have. You can have the same ideas as other people. That's fine. All right, now let's talk about the actual movie. Okay, so now that we know that characters, or the wax figures, because they're wax figures, can come to life, you'd think, that's cool, you know, that's cool. But they have this idea that they're that person, or that animal, or that figure. Because throughout the movie, you see that these characters, or wax figures, talk like they're that person.
Thank you.
Not at all. Theodore Roosevelt, 26th President of these United States of America, at your service.
Okay.
Or making it seem like the things they did are them.
And this is Sacagawea.
Weah.
Weah. I think she has a few questions she wants to ask you.
You rock. I am a big fan.
What would you like to know?
Well, I mean, I can start, but
But then this becomes a problem because the characters, the wax figures themselves say that they're not that person. Well, more specifically, Robin Williams, when he's trying to do Teddy Roosevelt, you know?
I'm not you, okay? I didn't build the Panama Canal. I wasn't president of the United States. I need some help. Come on.
Actually, I never did any of those things. Teddy Roosevelt did. I was made in a mannequin factory in Poughkeepsie.
Which makes you think, okay, since you know you're not that person, why do you keep acting like them? Which is like the whole thing of the movie, because these wax figures are supposed to act like their characters, but then there's like a middle point of where like they know that they're not them, but they're still acting like them, rather than just making it just seem that the wax figures think that it's them, instead of going back and forth. The only two characters that we can take away from this idea is the dinosaur, because it's the skeleton of an actual dinosaur that lived. So, okay, he's acting like himself because that is the skeleton of the dinosaur, you know? And then we have the mummy. If you went to school and you know these things, you know how the bodies of the mummies are preserved. And this is called the mummification process, where they preserve the body after death, wrapping it up. So we get it. This person, he wasn't a wax figure. It was an actual mummy. So everything he said in the movie, you can take as a real thing, you know? I don't know why I keep moving my hand so much, but you get my point. And then we go to the idea of what this whole thing is about. The question of how are these wax figures coming to life, which is the tablet of Akhmun-Ra, the mummy's tablet, which can bring power to the exhibit and make everything come back to life. Not come back to life, because most things are not real. They're wax figures, but they can be brought to life. And this was since the 1950s, and we see Teddy Roosevelt talked about this.
But isn't everything in this museum supposed to be, you know,
Dead?
Yeah.
Follow me. The tablet of Akhmun-Ra arrived here in 1952 from the Nile expedition. On that night, everything in this museum came to life.
Then you ask yourself, so you're telling me that since the 1950s, that night guard that was there for the first time of this happening didn't tell anyone about this. No one knows except the night guards that are caring for the museum at night. Like, all these guards have gone back and forth with this job, and no one has said anything to anyone about what's going on. And also knowing that museums have events at night, so what? Those wax figures weren't coming to life when those people were coming in? Like, explain that to me. And then the question that I have seen myself ask a bunch of times while watching this, where are the freaking cameras here? Like, how does a museum in New York City, by the way, a very famous museum, doesn't have cameras? You know, because like a security guard can do so much to an extent, you know? I know they don't have cameras because we go to Dr. McPhee, who is played by Ricky Jarvis. I don't know how to say it. This guy. And throughout the movie, he's known as the very uptight manager of the museum, you can say. And if you know him, you know he's a comedian. And he tries to put that into the movie, which I hate. Like,
why did the little girl fall off the swing? Because she had no arms. Yeah.
And if anything, is that tiniest after your shift? Because fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Shame on me.
Huh?
like, was that supposed to be funny? And then every time something happens in the museum, he doesn't know what's happening. He keeps asking him, what's this? What's that? Can you explain this? That's how you know there's no cameras, because if he would have cameras, he would know what is happening and what's going on, you know?
So, would you kindly do me the favour of explaining this?
Ooh, okay. I'm guessing...
Yeah. Phone.
Yes, I know.
In the Neanderthal display.
And then we go to the bad guys of the movie, because we know they had to have some form of problem or bad guy in a movie. But these are the bad guys. 3 old guys. Not to bash old people, you know. Love old people. But
These are the bad guys?
and then we could connect this to like the idea of no cameras in this museum, because it's like these people are stealing.
So, when we found out they were gonna fire us, we had to steal the tablet.
Everyone knows you need the money.
Add to that the stuff we planted in your place. Pretty obvious you committed the crime. Take care of that cut.
With a museum that has so many artifacts that can be stolen, no cameras are placed, no one knows what's going on. And Larry, I don't know if I ever said his name from the beginning. I don't think I did. Larry states this.
Bigger they are, the harder they fall.
This is not worth $11.50 an hour.
And he says it's only $11.50. They're paying him to be a night guard in Night at the Museum. You can understand why these guards who are claiming to be fired, so that's why they're stealing, are stealing, because it's like $11.50. $11.50? Like, you're really gonna trust security guards who are getting paid $11.50 to not steal anything? You should put cameras. You should put cameras. So at the end of the movie, you get to the point where the store is a mess. The museum is a mess, but he gets all the wax figures back to their spots. And then we have the funny guy showing Larry this video of what the news put out because all the animals were outside of the museum.
Any explanation at all?
No, got nothing.
Good.
And then ask Larry, what is this? To give him an explanation. You don't even know these freaking wax figures come to life. And you want him to tell you why there's all these animals in the news. Like he put costumes on or something. I don't understand what he wanted him to say. Like, that's why I'm just like, what did he want him to say at this point? And if he doesn't know that these wax figures come to life, what does he think happened? Like, I'm confused as to why this manager, doctor, whatever he is, doesn't just stay a night to see what happens or goes on. Like, is all of these days he keeps getting Larry in trouble? How about you just stay the night to see what's going on? Like, what? I wanted to end it with this. I know I said a lot of bad things about the movie, but I like this movie. Like, it's a childhood, not necessity, but like, if you know, you know. If you watched it, you know. It's a good movie. It's just questions I had now after I watched it when I'm older, because I didn't have these questions when I was younger, because like, it was the movie. Like, I enjoyed it. We all have this need to question everything, and I just wanted to say or talk about the questions I had in my head about the movie. But one good thing that I would say is that my favorite character is the freaking big head, and this is why.
Morning, dum-dum.
Me no dum-dum, you dum-dum. You bring me gum-gum?
Yes, I did, fathead. Lots and lots of gum-gum.
My dum-dum want to speak.
Thank you.
I know I bashed this movie so much in this video, but it would always be my favorite compared to the others, because this is the second movie.
At which point, we will all jump out of this box and attack.
Which I think is worse, and why I will always love this one better than all the other ones. Yeah, that was my take on the night at the museum. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, guys.